Nick Westcott is a professor at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London and also a former British ambassador to several West African countries.
It's an evolving relationship. It has been getting closer, but now it's entering, I think, a new phase. The massive inward investments of 10 years ago are now tailing off a little bit. But the stock of investment means China remains very important to Africa. As a trading partner, it's very important still to Africa. And geopolitically, Africa is becoming more important to China.
In what way does China need Africa from a diplomatic and political point of view?
Economically, it's obvious because China exports a huge amount to Africa. It imports critical raw materials from Africa. It has a very positive trade balance, which at a time when China's economy is undergoing strains is very important. Politically, China gives support to African countries. It shows them respect. It treats them equally. And it's increasingly interested in their position at the United Nations, in what many people see as a geopolitical struggle for influence between China and the US.
What does Africa most need from China? You've mentioned great investment involved in a lot of infrastructure projects, but what are the key issues for this particular meeting that might perhaps be different or more intensified for this round of meetings?
I think the interesting fact is, despite the huge investments that China has made, African growth has not taken off in the way that you would expect with that kind of input. So there's two questions. One, is the investment going into things that are actually helping Africa to grow? There's a lot of infrastructure investment, but there's a question over how economically beneficial some of that has been. And secondly, the trade relationship remains very unbalanced. Very much like the trade relationship was between Africa and Europe many years ago. Therefore, I think African leaders will be coming to China this time with as many questions as specific requests or hopes for more Chinese support or money.
Yeah, indeed. South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa is talking about the infrastructure for increased manufacturing within South Africa. He's also talking about permanent job creation. South Africa's got a massive unemployment problem. In the DRC, which of course exports many raw materials to China, that country is looking for ways to process those minerals before they are exported. Do you see indications that China will support those suggestions?
I hope it does. At the moment, China has invested in manufacturing capabilities in Ethiopia, but there the problem has been political conflict that has inhibited Ethiopian growth. China could redirect more of its investment to more productive, from the African point of view, investments. And as we know, African leaders are extremely focused on the challenge they face providing jobs for the ever-growing number of young people coming onto the jobs market. And I hope China will listen to their appeals for support with that.